Powerstar, you basically specialize in power optimization equipment, and of course that's optimizing voltage usage. In South Africa, we know that we've got a massive power shortage looming. We're busy embarking on building more coal-fired power plants. Do you think that South Africa needs to focus more on using electricity efficiently, or do you think we need to produce a lot more electricity?
I think it's both. Electricity has to be generated efficiently, and I'm sure Eskom is doing their best to generate electricity efficiency, but it's the generation of the electricity which is out of the control of the consumers. The consumers need to use it more effectively and more efficiently, and that's where Powerstar comes into place. Powerstar will optimize the voltage that goes into a building and will provide significant savings, on average 12–15% of the total electricity consumption of a building.
So basically we're wasting 12 to 15%.
That's correct.
On
that's the average.
Is that the average? Yes. You're looking at the equipment that you could be putting in place. I mean, obviously you work with massive corporates. We know that you are currently doing voltage audits at this point in time with the likes of Pick and Pay, Virgin Active, Southern Sun, Sun International. So you do go to a wide range of customers at this point in time. But just looking at the demand scenario that could play out in South Africa, are you seeing a lot of interest?
There is a lot of interest on voltage optimization, and specifically Powerstar. And you mentioned a pool of clients. Just to let you know, I mean, we've got the largest Powerstar system at the London Stock Exchange. So it's London Stock Exchange is powered by our system, Hewlett-Packard, Fujitsu data centers, metropolitan police stations, government buildings, Whitehall cabinet office buildings, and so on. Supermarkets, we've got nearly 250 systems with Asda, Walmart supermarkets in the UK. So in theory, anybody that uses electricity could be a client of ours. So the demand in South Africa, we expect it to be great, and the demand up to now has been above our expectations, which is a great aspect to have for a new product into a new market.
Well, do you think that generally, looking at it from a global level, do you think we waste electricity quite a bit, through having too many voltage coming through into the market, as opposed to ensuring that you are optimizing how much voltage comes through?
The electricity authorities throughout the world and the voltage grid network has been designed to transfer the voltage at the highest possible levels, because electricity authorities have to ensure that you here or anywhere in South Africa can obtain adequate voltage in order to operate your equipment. In order to do that, they have to transmit at the highest level possible, which you have regulations, the maximum 253 volts and the minimum 207 volts. So they have to transfer it at 253, and depending on the demand of the line, the voltage will drop to the furthest point away from the supply. So the average voltage that you get is about 240 volts, which is no equipment in South Africa or in the Eurozone has been designed to operate at those voltages. So you waste a lot of energy. Not because you want to waste of energy, because of the grid design. The Institute of Electrical Engineers have said that on average we waste 10% of the electricity consumption because of the overvoltage we supply to buildings. And that is a great aspect. The other negative aspect of having high voltage is that you shorten significantly the life expectancy of your equipment. So if you have equipment, you have a laptop here which has been designed to operate at 220 volts, and you give it 240 volts, you will shorten the life expectancy by up to 55%. So it will last half the time in terms of the overvoltage capacity. So Powerstar will save you energy, will save you money, which is more important aspect. It will save you carbon dioxide, which is everybody's trying to do their bit for the environment. They will increase the life expectancy of your equipment, and will remove the electrical noise within the supply. And the electrical noise is something that we face more and more problems within the
Tell us about your relationship with Eskom at this point in time, because obviously you've got something that could assist us with the looming power crisis that could possibly play out in South Africa. We've had electricity tariffs increase by 25% this year. They say that it's going to increase by a further 25% over the next 2 years. So a big issue coming through for not only corporates, consumers as well.
Yes, I mean, Eskom, I'm sure they're doing their calculations, and the price increases that they are asking the people to pay are within their speculations of how the market moves. I have to say, you pay very little for your electricity in South Africa.
We're always reminded of that.
Yes, you pay 30% of what we pay in the UK at this minute in time. So you're your electricity here is pretty cheap. So the relationship with Eskom is that we're trying to make sure that Eskom has more capacity by us having more equipment within the South Africa market. If we can save 10% using our equipment, it means that Eskom has 10% more power to distribute wisely within the South African market.
Why do you think that equipment such as this, technology such as this, hasn't really been around for that long? We know that it has been around, in fact, actually for over 100 years, and that's what some of the reports that I've been reading say. But why do you think it's been so slow to be implemented by these big power utilities?
It's purely because of the payback of equipment. If you take 10 years ago, when we started the job of voltage optimization and Powerstar, electricity in the UK was between 1 and 1.5, 1.7 pence a kilowatt hour was the maximum, and now is 9 pence a kilowatt hour. The actual cost of equipment hasn't actually gone up that much, but the payback has significantly been reduced. So you have paybacks now averaging between 1 and 2.5 years. Well, 10 years ago, it would have been 10 to 25 years. I don't think many people are willing to invest.
Well, looking at the overall electricity generation scenario that is playing out on the continent, and particularly in South Africa, we are building more coal-fired power plants. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that, do you favour more nuclear energy perhaps? Do you think we should be focusing more on green energy? We know that in Europe, everyone's got solar panels on their roofs. It's something that hasn't happened in South Africa as yet.
And again, is the generation of the electricity. For our system, we don't really mind how it's generated, the electricity. You can generate using wind power or renewables, and that, of course, is a benefit, but unfortunately, it's an expensive technology and unreliable, especially wind. When the wind is not there, you still want to have your lights on in your house. And I don't think anybody wants to substitute the generation, which is the reliable generation, like gas, coal, or nuclear, with purely renewables. The fact that coal power stations generate significant amount of CO2 is a negative aspect, but you have to find a solution, an intermediate solution, until new forms of technology are there. Carbon capture technology will be important and so on. So in my opinion, as long as there is a strategy in place to make sure that you generate the electricity in the future well, with less CO2, and there is a strategy in place to make sure that the equipment that you have that use the electricity run as efficiently as possible, and Powerstar will do that, then it is a win-win and win situation.